So, right at the start, we're told something that completely sets the tone for everything that's about to happen. Because apparently, 9 whole years have passed since the Anti-Punishment Act was put into law. And under this one single rule, teachers are no longer allowed to punish a student, or even lay a hand on them, no matter what that student does. Which sounds fine on paper, sure, but in reality, it means teachers are stuck completely powerless. Because even if a student does something genuinely terrible, the school's hands are legally tied and can't touch them. And here's the worst part. The police assigned to these schools know exactly how to twist this law for their own benefit, looking the other way whenever it suits them, as long as the right pockets get filled. But then, one day, something happens that's horrifying enough to shake the entire country to its core, because the headline reads exactly like this: "Teacher assaulted by student dies." A student actually killed his own teacher, and that single piece of news is enough to terrify an entire nation, making people genuinely believe their country's education system is on the verge of completely collapsing. Because of this, the Ministry of Education uses the media to blow this story up as much as possible, hoping it'll finally push through a law that protects teachers too. But here's the thing. None of it actually works, because the police just don't care enough to do anything about it, no matter how many people beg them to act. That's when we cut to a boy named Kim, who turns around and notices a man sitting calmly on the school rooftop, just staring down at the entire school below him like he's studying it. The man then walks up to Kim, introduces himself, and explains that he's a brand new teacher who just joined today, asking Kim if he could kindly lead him to the teacher's room. Kim agrees and starts walking him there, but right as the two of them are heading toward the office, a bully suddenly appears out of nowhere, kicks Kim hard, and starts beating him up for absolutely no reason at all. Little did that bully know, he just picked the worst possible person to mess with. Out of nowhere, the new teacher grabs the bully by the hair, yanks him back, and slaps him so hard across the face that he goes flying straight into the wall. The stunned bully looks up and asks, "Who the hell are you?" From behind, Kim shouts, "He's a teacher!" The bully, confused, asks, "Wait, you're a teacher?" The man calmly replies, "Well, it's kind of a long story, but yeah, I am." The bully scoffs, getting back up. "Oh, so you think you can just do this because you're a teacher? You hit a student in school no less. Go ahead, hit me again. I dare you. See how fast your video goes viral and your job disappears." The new teacher just smiles, asks almost casually, "You sure about that?" and then slaps him again and again, saying flatly, "Didn't I just tell you not to test me?" The bully, now furious, snaps, "You think I'm joking? Buddy's a content creator. You're about to go viral on the entire internet." The teacher, mid-hit, just laughs and says, "Oh, so you're telling me I'm about to get famous? Well then, make sure you record this properly." Meanwhile, a few students in the background are already filming, openly admiring the new teacher's fighting style. The bully charges forward, throwing a punch, but the teacher simply stomps his leg, dropping him to the ground, instantly grabs him by the throat, and shoves him straight into the classroom doorframe, pinning him there. Then he pulls out a wooden stick and says, "You know, back when I was a student myself, and a teacher punished me, we used to say, 'Thank you, sir,' afterward." And with that, he slams the stick down hard on the bully's bag. Every student watching is completely frozen in shock. That's when the vice principal storms up to him and demands, "Who exactly are you? And who gave you the right to hit students in my school?" The teacher simply replies that he was sent here today. The vice principal presses further, "But who are you exactly?" And that's when the man reaches into his pocket and pulls out his ID card. What happened next shocked everyone, because this man was no ordinary teacher. His name is Baji, and he's the main character of everything you're about to watch. We're told he's a warden, sent from the Teachers' Rights Protection Agency, and apparently, 2 years ago, after that very same teacher's brutal murder, the government finally passed the Teacher Protection Act, and the Ministry of Education built an entire agency around it, shortened simply to TRPA. This agency's whole job is to walk into schools where bullying has spiraled out of control, or where administrations are bribing police to bury student suicides, and give them what they call special guidance. Baji makes it clear, TRPA's teaching methods have absolutely no limits. They can do whatever it takes because their authority comes directly from the government itself. And starting today, he says, "I'm going to give this school a real education." Scene cuts. Now we're shown the principal, the vice principal, and Baji all sitting in the office. The vice principal tries his best to explain that their school is completely free of bullying and violence, and both men attempt to slip Baji a bribe to smooth things over. But Baji just ignores the money entirely, and instead asks them about a classroom belonging to a boy named Desu, a name neither of them seems to recognize. Desu, by the way, is the very same boy who took his own life right at the start of this story. We then cut to a classroom where a bully is forcing a student to drink alcohol against his will. That's exactly when Baji walks in, calmly announcing that he's the new substitute teacher, though the students barely even glance up at him. So he just starts taking attendance instead. But the moment he calls out the name Desu Park, a student quietly informs him that Desu isn't in this world anymore, that he took his own life. Baji simply replies, "Ah, thanks for letting me know," and moves right on to the next name on the list. He then calls out another name, Park. Same surname, different student, but this one doesn't answer at all. Baji walks over and notices the boy's face has turned bright red. "What's wrong, Park? Are you feeling sick?" That's when the bully sitting behind him chimes in. He's probably stressed about something. The second he walked into class, he pulled out a bottle and started drinking from it. But right as the bully says this, Baji suddenly leans in close, sniffs the air near him, and says, almost too casually, "That's strange. You smell like alcohol too. Did you drink with him by any chance?" The bully panics, stammering, No, I was just sitting right next to him. That's probably why I smell like it." Baji just smiles. You know, the smell of someone drinking alcohol is very different from the smell of alcohol that's been poured on someone. Honestly, I'm guessing your hangover from yesterday still hasn't worn off, so you decided to force feed it to him instead, just so the blame would land on someone else. Am I close? That's when things take a dark turn. The bully, shaking with rage, screams, "How dare you say that to me? I'll kill you!" Baji just laughs. "Kill me? The same way you killed Desu Park?" The bully freezes. "Murder? What kind of nonsense is that? I never killed anyone." But Baji's already grabbed his face, dragging him across the room and slamming him straight into the wall. Then, completely calm, he asks who the class monitor is. A student stands up immediately. "Yes, sir. That's me." Baji tells him to take the alcohol victim straight to the nurse's office. Then, raising his voice for the entire room to hear, Baji announces, "This school has exactly 3 problems. First, none of you respect your own teachers. Second, you bully anyone weaker than you." But right as he says this, the same bully from earlier charges at him again, only for Baji to slam a heavy register book straight onto his skull, dropping him instantly. "And third," Baji continues, completely unfazed, "even after all of this school just sits in silence, quietly waiting for it to happen all over again." Baji then properly introduces himself to the whole class. "My name is Baji. I'm a warden from the Teachers' Rights Protection Agency, working directly under the Ministry of Education. You're all incredibly lucky, by the way, because this is TRPA's very first official case, which is exactly why I was sent here." He orders everyone to stand. But from the back of the room, one boy tells his friends, "You guys really don't need to listen to him. Just sit back down," before turning to Baji directly. "What are you even doing here, trying to teach us something? Everyone in this room respects me way more than they respect you." Baji checks the attendance register and reads the name out loud. Jun Ryo. He tells Ryo to step forward, warning him he'll be in real trouble if Baji has to come over there himself. Ryo, completely unbothered, dares him, "Come on then, walk over here and find out who's in trouble." Baji calmly agrees, "All right, let's see," and starts walking toward Ryo's desk. But that's when he notices something off in the corner of his eye. The principal and vice principal secretly spying on him from outside the door. So instead of stopping at Ryo's desk, Baji just keeps walking right past it, straight out the door toward the 2 men. "What exactly are you 2 doing here?" The principal, flustered, warns him to be careful around that particular boy, explaining his father is a powerful politician and a close personal friend of the education minister himself. Meanwhile, Ryo strolls right past them without a single ounce of fear on his face. Baji actually thanks the principal for the heads up, then grabs Ryo's face roughly, shoving him hard, and says, "It's exactly because you're scared of kids like him that students stop respecting their teachers in the first place." Furious now, he storms off, ordering the vice principal, "I want every single teacher in this school's gym in 30 minutes. All of them. Understood." That's when the real transformation begins. We cut to the gym, packed wall to wall with every teacher in the building. Baji introduces himself again, explains that he's only been here 2 days but has already spotted way too many problems to fix alone, and he needs every single one of them on his side. As you already know, I'm here to guide this school properly. So, starting now, I'm giving each of you the exact same authority I have. With that, he swings open a supply cabinet packed full of sticks, baseball bats, and every other tool you can imagine. None of you will ever have to deal with this kind of problem again. I'll take full responsibility for everything that happens from here. One by one, every teacher steps forward, picking up a weapon for themselves. Next scene, we see teachers tying up a group of corrupt police officers and giving them a proper beating of their own, while every single student in the building suddenly starts following orders without question. We also catch a glimpse of a boy trying to intimidate a female teacher, only for Baji to step in, casually pulling him aside and saying he's got some advice for his future, leading him straight into a dark, windowless room. And honestly, we all know exactly what kind of advice a warden gives in a room like that. Moments later, that same boy comes stumbling out, and the very first thing he does is rush over to apologize to the female teacher he was harassing. Scene cuts. Up on the school rooftop, the bullies are sitting around talking. One of them turns to Ryo and asks, "Isn't he gonna do something about this? Can't he get his dad to pull some strings and get this warden removed?" Ryo snaps back, irritated. "Just shut up already. I already talked to my dad's manager, and apparently our school is the very first official trial case for this brand new Ministry of Education system, the one the ruling party's leader passed 2 years ago. My dad doesn't hold a high enough position to actually do anything about it." We then cut to the school garden where Kim and Baji are sitting together. Baji asks him how things feel now, whether anyone still bullies him. Kim, smiling, says no, the bullying has dropped a lot, but this is only gonna last as long as you're here. The moment you leave, everything goes right back to the way it was. While they're talking, a beaten-up boy named Bingsu staggers over, clearly hurt badly, and begs Baji for help. "I can't take this anymore, please, help me." Baji tells him to come along to the office and explain everything properly. But as the two of them start walking there together, the real surprise was yet to come. Bingsu suddenly pulls a knife from his pocket and stabs Baji straight in the stomach. We flash back to a scene where Ryo, wearing this cold, calculating expression, says, "No small plan is going to work here. But here's an idea. What if we say a student couldn't handle his teacher's punishment anymore? And one day, out of pure rage, he stabbed him." Cut back to Bingsu attacking Baji, who winces in real pain, but then casually twists Bingsu's arm, pulls the knife out of himself, and mutters, "Lucky for me, this thing didn't go too deep." He then drags Bingsu straight to the counseling room, slams the door shut, forces him to look in a mirror, and calmly pulls off his own shirt to start stitching up his own wound right in front of him. Baji asks who told him to do this, pointing out that Bingsu doesn't even know how to properly stab someone in the first place. Bingsu screams that he did this entirely on his own, that nobody told him to. Baji jabs the knife into the table, right beside Bingsu's hand, and says, "What you just did to me could easily land you in prison. You know that's attempted murder, right?" Bingsu, terrified, stammers, "Those people are dangerous. If I say their names, I don't even know what they'll do to me." Baji lets him walk free, telling him, "Even if kids like you get a real chance to change, you'll still find a way to ruin it. There's nothing anyone can do for kids like you, because even when someone genuinely wants to help, you won't even give them the chance to." Hearing this, Bingsu breaks down, insisting he actually wants to talk. He's just terrified they'll kill him if he opens his mouth. So he finally tells the truth. Desu, he explains, was nothing like the rest of them. He was kind, got along with everyone, was genuinely well-liked, and even pulled good grades. Ryo, meanwhile, had been running with the older seniors for a while, already bullying weaker kids alongside them. Desu and Ryo shared the same classroom, but never really interacted, until one day, their teacher, finally fed up with Ryo's constant bad behavior, told him to start behaving properly in class. Ryo absolutely lost it, told her to mind her own business, and threatened to have his dad's assistant get her fired on the spot. He even moved to hit her, but Desu stepped in and knocked him out cold with a single punch. And that one punch is exactly when Desu's nightmare began. From that day forward, the bullies turned on him completely, declaring him an outcast in front of the entire class. And it didn't stop there. On Ryo's orders, even Desu's own father got fired from his job. After enduring this torture for what felt like forever, Desu finally confronted Ryo directly. "You took everything from me. You even got my dad fired. So why are you still doing this to me?" Ryo's answer was simple and cold. "I'm not stopping until you're dead." Just days later, Desu took his own life. No teacher did anything. No police officer did anything. And just like that, Ryo became the unchallenged king of the school's bullies. Bingsu finishes his story, quietly admitting, "I think I'm gonna end up just like Desu too." Hearing this, Baji just leans back like he's about to fall asleep, completely unbothered, which makes Bingsu absolutely furious. Baji just smirks and says, "Why don't you just admit you're scared of a second-year student?" Then he pulls out his phone, shows Bingsu something on the screen, and says, "Let's let them have a little fun first." Scene cuts. We cut to Rio and his friends talking trash. We never expected much from that loser Bingsu anyway. He's useless. We gave him one simple job, and he still couldn't even do that right. Right then, Baji walks in with Bingsu by his side, greeting the group casually. "How's it going, everyone? Nice spot to hang out, by the way." The bullies sneer at Bingsu. "You're done for now. You'll end up just like Desu if you side with this teacher." But Baji leans in and whispers something in Bingsu's ear. "Just do exactly what I taught you." And with that, Bingsu knocks Rio out cold with a single punch. Rio's friends immediately move to attack Bingsu, but Baji steps in between them, blocking the path and openly praising the punch Bingsu just landed. Rio, now on the ground, threatens him. "You're finished. You're going to die like a dog." But Bingsu just tells him to check the news instead. That's when things took a dramatic turn. The news reveals that Rio's father has just been arrested on corruption charges. Rio is completely floored. His friends turn on him too, demanding to know what's going on. We flash back to Rio's childhood, where his father is beating him, treating him horribly, telling him, "Despite being the son of such an important lawmaker, you're absolutely useless. You're not good at school. You're not good at anything. You embarrass me." But outside the house, at school, everyone treats him like royalty, fearing him, obeying his every order, purely because of his father's position. Nobody dares speak up against him, which means he can do whatever he wants, with nobody around to stop him, and he enjoys every second of that stolen power. Back in the present, Rio's father confronts a man right in front of his car, demanding furiously, "Did you expose my dealings?" The man fires back, calm but cutting. "Sure, you might have stepped down from your position, but we were in the exact same party. How dare you try to scare me?" Rio's father, almost desperate now, says, "We used to be classmates. We used to eat lunch together. It feels like it was only yesterday. So what exactly did I do wrong? Just answer me that." The man's reply lands like a hammer. "You still don't know what you did wrong. Every single day, you went on the news, parading yourself around like some kind of righteous symbol. And now that it's finally time to actually answer for your crimes, you come crawling over here just to insult me instead. That's exactly what you did wrong. Your own face is proof. You don't even understand what I'm telling you right now. Maybe you should have raised your son properly in the first place." That man, by the way, is Kang, currently Korea's head minister of education, 69 years old, who started his political career back at 43. He's never cared what anyone thinks, prefers attacking his enemies head on, and his fearless, dominating style has made him incredibly popular with regular citizens across the country. We see Kang stride up to a wall of reporters. "I'm ready for your questions." One reporter immediately asks about the recent law allowing teachers to punish students using virtually any method they choose, asking if he could explain the reasoning behind it. Kang fires back, almost mocking, "Why are you asking me this now? This law passed 2 full years ago, and you all sat there quietly the entire time. Only now, 2 years later, are you suddenly remembering it exists? What exactly were you all doing this whole time? We gave teachers special authority specifically to fix a broken, corrupt system, so they could finally act when it actually mattered." A reporter pushes back, insisting this can't be compared to ordinary corporal punishment. Kang shrugs it off. "Students only really understand once they've been hit." A female reporter holds up photos of visibly injured students. "What exactly is this? Then, this is clear, plain, physical violence." Kang doesn't flinch. "All of this happened because of bullying. Did any of you even see the news a few days ago about a student who took his own life because of it? Students deserve a safe environment to learn in. They endured this kind of suffering for years, and none of you said a single word. Now that a few bruises show up, suddenly you're all rushing over here with your mouths wide open. Right now, our priority is protecting students who are genuinely trying to study hard, and all of you keep circling back to the exact same question, over and over, which is honestly starting to fry my patience. You're reporters. Your entire job is supposed to be uncovering the truth, yet it feels like you're all here trying to bury it instead. So put your little recorders away. I am the education minister of Korea, and I will personally handle everything from here, which means nobody is going to come after me. And to every parent calling my office right now, please just stop. And starting today, any future interview about this policy is getting rejected before it even gets scheduled. But then, Baji, watching this entire press conference unfold on the news, mutters to himself, he said he'd handle it, but it honestly looks like he just declared war on the whole world. Seriously, how did this guy even land a 6th term in the Senate? Right then, someone walks up behind him and asks, "Are you even human?" Baji turns around. "Dad, what are you even doing here?" "Yes, Minister Kang, the education minister of the entire country, is Baji's father. Kang smacks him upside the head. What do you mean by that, talking to your own father like that, before casually grabbing a cookie and biting into it? Wow, these are surprisingly pricey. Baji shrugs. That's mom's favorite. I figured you'd already know that. He then asks how the press conference went, since it looked like both the reporters and half the parents in the country were against him. Kang just sighs. Let them be angry. There's nothing I can really do about that now. Baji jokes, sounds like the presidential runner-up just got benched. I wonder what mom would think about all this. We realize, in that moment, that Baji is actually standing right beside a grave, almost certainly his mother's. His father says quietly, a dead person never gets to take their revenge. Only the living can do that instead. Then, almost out of nowhere, why is it so bright out today? I can barely see anything. I'm heading inside. He looks genuinely heartbroken in that moment. He asks Baji to come along, but Baji says he'll stay a little longer, then asks what his next assignment is. Kang tells him it's a school near Samsung, where the headmaster personally reached out to request help directly. Baji raises an eyebrow. Normally, schools handle this stuff themselves. If the headmaster is personally asking for help, that means something's seriously wrong over there. He heads off, thinking to himself, let's see exactly how bad this place really is. On the school stairs, a group of kids is bullying another student, while two entire gangs face off against each other nearby. One bully sneers, "Hey there, electrician, how was your little date with Pikachu today? And why are you staring at me like that?" The other fires back, "How's the car wash business treating you? Need a lesson or two?" And just like that, both gangs throw themselves at each other like a pack of dogs. Baji, watching from a distance, just smiles. Now, this is a proper gang war, which means, lucky me, my job here is to shut this whole thing down. We get a quick flashback from one of the students caught in the middle, who explains, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with cars, toy cars, trucks, anything with wheels. I loved every bit of it. So I decided early on exactly what I wanted to become when I grew up. That's the whole reason I picked this school, because it actually has a car mechanics program. Back in the present, this same kid watches the gang war unfold and thinks, this happens here constantly. I really shouldn't have picked this car-obsessed nightmare of a school. We then see a brutal fight where a car wash gang member gets knocked flat. His own gang leader sneers down at him. Why aren't you fighting back? You don't even want to be part of this crew. The kid forces himself back up to fight, only to get beaten down even worse. Lying there on the ground, he thinks, I am so done with all of this. Right then, Baji casually walks past him, and the kid thinks, almost dazed, why does this guy feel so familiar? Scene cuts. We move to the principal's office, where the headmaster says, honestly, I didn't expect you here so soon. I only reached out this morning. Here, have a drink first. He fumbles for a while, trying to explain the situation. Baji cuts him off. I already know. I just walked past it myself. There's literally a gang war happening between two entire classes. This is, hands down, the worst school I've seen yet. In the gym, we see the car wash gang's leader, a guy named Lee Ham, currently the lowest scoring student in the entire engineering program, beating one of his own members. I told you all, you needed to take down at least one guy. You can't even manage that much. That defeated student thinks to himself, if I had a time machine, I'd go straight back and stop myself from ever playing with toy cars as a kid. I'd tell myself to play with robots instead. Anything but cars. He explains how it all started. On the very first day, it was just a normal fight to figure out the pecking order, basically sizing each other up. The next week, fights broke out over the alpha position. A month after that, second and third grade rankings started getting fought over too. After that, the entire system completely fell apart, and fights started happening literally every single day, and someone like me could do absolutely nothing except take the hits. He continues, I put up with it for 2 whole years, purely because I loved cars that much, and now I'm in my 3rd year, and the moment this semester started, I already knew this fighting had only gotten worse. Lee Ham desperately wants to make his class the dominant alpha class, and to do that, he first has to win the title himself. One frustrated student mutters, I don't even know why the rest of us keep getting dragged into this mess. Meanwhile, a kid named Yang, the highest scoring student in his class, gets approached by a different gang leader who tells him, you're our class's top student. You've worked hard enough. Just sit back and relax for once before walking off. Yang finally exhales in relief, but that relief doesn't last long. The same guy turns right back around, kicks Yang straight to the ground, and snarls, did I even need someone like you in my class? You can't do anything useful. You're not worth anything to us. Why are you even still in this school? Yang, completely confused, thinks, I came here to actually study. Why is he asking me something like that? That's exactly when Baji walks in. He came here to study. That's literally what school is for. And yet here you are, asking such a stupid question. The gang leader rounds on Baji instead. Hey, old man, who do you think you are? Baji introduces himself, calm as ever. I'm a field instructor, sent here by the Education Bureau. Name's Baji, here to offer you all a little guidance. Haven't you seen the news? The leader shrugs him off. Nope, don't watch the news, before charging straight at him. Baji drops him with one single punch. The leader's entire crew freezes in shock, watching their boss hit the floor. Baji then calls Yang over and tells him to come help out. We cut over to the electrician gang's side, mid-meeting, where their leader, a guy named Hong, says, "Those car-obsessed lunatics are stirring up trouble again. We need to shut this down fast." Then an announcement blares through the halls. "Dear electricians, listen closely. I am Lee Hom, the so-called loser of the car mechanics department, and I'm coming to hunt down every single one of you. Meet me in the gym." Every single electrician bully starts marching toward the gym. Little did they know, someone else was already waiting for them. Baji greets every single one of them there, beating them down one by one, and says, "Everybody, find a seat. Starting today, the car mechanics and electrician departments are having joint classes, taught by ME. And if anyone here doesn't want to participate, step forward right now." Baji laughs. "I'll happily walk myself out of this school out of pure embarrassment, if anyone actually dares." Hearing this, someone attacks him, but Baji dodges easily, landing a clean punch straight to the face. But then, suddenly, the entire tide turns. Out of nowhere, that same attacker grabs Baji's head and slams him straight down to the ground. We jump to a flashback explaining exactly who just did that. An electrician gang member recounts, "The very first time I saw Nak fight, I knew instantly this guy was about to become the school's newest legend." Baji is still lying unconscious on the gym floor. Lee looks down at Nak and smirks. "So what happens to you now, you sly snake?" Nak responds by punching Lee straight down too, then grabs his own friend by the throat and yells, "Are you all seriously mocking me right now? Are we really this weak that one single teacher can just walk in and control us?" But that's exactly when Baji had stepped in. "Is that how you talk to the king? Has nobody ever taught you basic manners?" And as punishment, Baji whacks Nak with a feather, which, thanks to his still cracked ribs, somehow actually hurts quite a bit. Baji then hands the feather straight to Yang. "You're the king here, now. Feel free to use this on him whenever he needs reminding." Later, Nak quietly gathers his old crew, urging them to rebel. All of this is happening because every single one of you gave up the moment he showed up. If we all attack together, he'll have no choice but to leave. But not a single person backs him up, instead telling him plainly that if he wants to start something, he can do it himself, and to leave the rest of them out of it. Meanwhile, Yang notices something he never expected. The two rival gang leaders have actually become genuine friends, laughing together, casually placing bets like old buddies, something that's never once happened before. And somehow, the two entire departments have started mixing and getting along peacefully. Yang thinks to himself, if this keeps up, Baji might not even be needed here much longer. From outside, the principal watches all of this unfold, beaming with pride. He calls Baji into his office to personally thank him. "You've accomplished something genuinely incredible, something this school has never seen in its entire history. Every student is finally getting along. There hasn't been a single fight in days. Seriously, how did you even manage this? You did something no other educator on Earth could have pulled off. You should be proud of yourself." Baji just looks at him and quietly asks, "You've been around them this whole time. Do you actually truly believe they've all changed?" Scene cuts. After school, we see Yang walking with Nak carrying his bag behind him. Yang tells him he doesn't need to carry it anymore. School's already over for the day. Nak insists it's still the rule. He has to carry it regardless. "You did this exact same job for 3 whole years too, remember?" Yang thinks to himself, genuinely surprised by how much he's changed. Like ever since cutting ties with his old crew, something inside him finally clicked, like he's actually starting to understand right from wrong. Meanwhile, Nak is quietly counting down the days in his head. "It's been almost 2 full weeks now. My ribs are basically healed. Tomorrow, I'm telling Baji I'm taking him down myself. And after that, every single person who refused to back me, I'm dealing with each of them, one by one." Right then, trouble shows up uninvited. A group of bullies from a rival school appears, mocking him openly. "Why is a dog like you carrying some loser's bag now?" Nak snaps back. "Did you seriously come all the way here just to talk nonsense?" They reply, dead serious. "No, we came here for revenge." Nak laughs it off. "Just the 3 of you? You already know I can take down 10 or 12 guys solo. So why exactly are you so confident right now?" They smile. We're confident because we already know we're going to beat you. Getting rid of a worm like you only takes one thing, money. So yeah, we hired a few people to teach you a proper lesson. Yang freezes in shock the moment he spots the hired gangsters standing behind them. One of them tells Yang directly, "Kid, you've still got time. Just walk away now." Nak swings first, landing a punch straight at one gangster's face. Gangster or not, one punch from me is more than enough to take you down. But the gangster blocks it without even flinching. Nak is visibly stunned. The gangster starts beating him down hard, blood trickling from Nak's mouth. "Look, I know I was hired to do this," the gangster says, almost reluctant. "But honestly, I don't really feel like hurting a kid like you." He reveals he actually graduated from this exact same school 8 years ago, back when it was still nicknamed Mongol Army by basically everyone. And back then, people simply called him the Great Khan. Nak stares at him in disbelief. "Wait, you're the Great Khan, the guy who wiped out everyone here 8 years ago? Well, you know exactly what people are going to be saying after today. This ends right here. Right now, let's finally see who's actually the strongest." But the moment Nak lunges forward, Khan kicks him down first, faster than Nak can even land his own swing. Yang thinks, stunned. He's insanely fast. He kicked before Nak's fist even got close. Khan looks down at him. "Young man, now you finally know who's really strong around here. Back in my day, guys exactly like you were nothing but lackeys, with absolutely zero real worth. Honestly, you're lucky you weren't even born back then." With that, Khan delivers a brutal punch straight to Nak's throat, leaving him struggling badly. We then flash back to Nak's own childhood, where he narrates, "The very first time I ever got truly violent was when I was just quietly playing by myself. And a group of kids showed up and told me, 'This is our spot. What makes you think you can play here? Every single time I see you, it makes me furious. What are you even doing around our apartment building?'" Another kid laughs cruelly. "You know what my mom said when she saw your family? She said, 'If you were all so poor, why did they even bother having you?'" That single sentence sends young Nak into a blind rage, and he beats every single one of those kids on the spot. Later, the bully's mother shows up at Nak's house, screaming at his mother, "What exactly did you teach your son? Does he have no manners at all? Look at what he did to my boy." Nak, completely unfazed, declares, "Whoever called my mom poor and whoever called me stupid, get on your knees and apologize to my face right now." By that point, nobody dares say a single word against him, since he's already at the very top of the food chain. But for the very first time, someone is finally hitting him back, and even he admits quietly that it genuinely scares him. Back in the present, the rival bully who hired Khan begs desperately, "Stop, please. I give up completely. I won't mess with anyone again. I won't even fight anymore. Just please let me live." Khan calmly asks him his dad's, "Money really can buy anything." I honestly never expected Nak to cry like a little kid too. Khan just shakes his head. People like you never actually change, which is exactly why I'm going to make sure nothing happens to these two until they graduate. That's when a gangster grabs Nak's hand, with Khan winding up to break it clean with one stomp of his boot. Yang watches in absolute horror. The gang casually tells Nak not to scream too loud. They're just going to check his hand. That's all. Yang thinks to himself almost desperately, "Nak and I have never even spoken before." But the bullying system he built turned my entire school life into hell. For 3 straight years, I genuinely wished he would just die, because he ruined everything for me, because I never knew how to fight back. But no matter how much I hate him, he doesn't deserve this. Without a second thought, Yang throws himself in front of the attack, taking the hit meant for Nak. The gangster blinks, genuinely confused. "What are you even doing here?" Yang, in real pain, begs, "Please, let him go. He's already taken enough." The gangster tells Nak to step aside instead, but Nak refuses to move an inch. The gangster slaps Yang hard, ordering him to back off, but Yang stands his ground anyway. Nak just watches the entire thing unfold, completely speechless. Why is he doing all of this for me? We're not even close. Meanwhile, far away, Baji is mid-workout when his phone suddenly buzzes with a notification. Yang is in danger. His heart rate just spiked dangerously high. By the time Baji even registers it, the gangsters have already knocked Nak out cold. The gangster glances over at Yang and mutters, almost impressed, "This kid's honestly better than the so-called #1 student. He just wasted 10 whole minutes of my time. But why is he protecting the guy who used to bully him? That's just sad." Nak, somehow still half-conscious, manages to say, "Even though I hate him, there's still a limit to everything. Every single action has its limit. I'm right about that, aren't I, Mr. Baji?" That's exactly when Baji finally shows up, and he is absolutely furious. "How did you get hurt this badly?" Yang explains everything. How these gangsters were hired by a rival group to come beat up Nak. Baji just shakes his head. And here I was, wondering why these grown men didn't look anything like high school gang members. Khan yells back at him, offended. Old man yourself, I'm only 20. Baji shrugs. Did you pour acid on your own face then? Because honestly, it looks that bad. One of the gangsters jabs a stick toward Baji, threatening him outright. If you don't shut your mouth right now, I'll shut it for you with this. Without missing a beat, Baji snaps the man's arm and slams his head straight into the ground. Everyone watching freezes in shock. Baji, voice rising, snarls. None of you are actual students, which means I don't have to hold back like I do with kids. I can beat every single one of you like dogs. No limits at all. You're all from that uncle gang, aren't you? I've seen you all over the news. You work for whoever pays you. You know, technically, I'm not all that different. I also get paid to do this job. But you want to know the actual difference between you and me? You're just gangsters. Khan flashes back to how easily Baji took down his own friend earlier, and that's when it really hits him. This is no ordinary man. So he pulls a knife and lunges straight at him. Baji's already ready, blocking the strike clean. Khan thinks to himself, almost frantic, this guy can't be normal. When I first joined this organization, the older guys told me, no matter how skilled you are with a blade, a real martial artist will always avoid it completely, never even letting it get close in the first place. And sure enough, that's exactly what Baji does, knocking the knife clean out of his hand, dropping Khan instantly, then unloading a brutal series of kicks straight to his face. Khan realizes in absolute horror, this man genuinely knows real martial arts. Baji grabs him by the hair. Get up, I haven't even hit you properly yet. This is a fight, which means somebody here has to lose, badly. Everyone watching is completely paralyzed with fear, as Baji keeps slamming kick after kick into Khan's face. Khan, realizing he might actually be in real danger now, grabs Baji's leg, begging desperately, please, just let me live, I'm sorry. This was all my fault, but please, don't kill me. Baji hits him again anyway. Khan, hands clasped together now, pleads, I'm sorry. I'm done with this gangster life completely. Starting today, I'm living a normal life, I swear. But Baji still doesn't stop. That's when Khan spots Yang nearby, rushes over, apologizes to him directly, and begs him to stop Baji, even offering to pay 20 times the hospital bill as compensation. Baji flicks open his lighter, almost satisfied. Now that's a real apology. I only hit you because you hit him. Now that you finally understand, get out of my sight. Then he turns to Yang. See what just happened? All of this, because of you. Scene cuts. The very next day, word spreads that Baji has already left the school. Everyone's talking about it. We see Lee has tied Yang up, clearly trying to remind him of his place now that his protector is gone. I told you, Lee sneers. The day teacher Baji walks out of here, that's the day you die, and your body's gonna end up in the newspaper. Right then, the gate bursts open. Nak comes crashing through, furious. If any of you so much as touch my brother, you'll see exactly what happens to you. Meanwhile, in a completely different scene, a woman compliments a man, telling him he did a great job. The man asks why she's even here, and she reveals she's a superintendent from the Teachers Protection Agency. Lee, watching all of this unfold, mutters in confusion. What suddenly happened to him? Baji isn't even here anymore. So, why is he acting like this? Did the teacher blackmail him or something? Meanwhile, once freed, Yang thanks Nak for stepping in to help him. This makes Yang remember something Baji once told Nak directly. You see, this is what being human actually means. You used to do all of this to other kids. Be grateful these gangsters showed up, because what I just did to them, I would have done to you instead. You're genuinely lucky Yang understood before I had to teach you some real education myself, because otherwise, 9 out of 10 students would have just stood there watching your hand get cut off, with nobody stepping up to save you. He should have been happy watching you suffer, considering you turned his entire life into a living hell. But instead, Yang took that hit just to protect you. Could you have ever done something like that? A person's true rank is decided by their character, not their strength. And if you still don't understand that after all this, you're no better than an animal, and if it still doesn't sink in, I'm more than happy to give you some real education myself. Remembering all of this, Nak walks away, saying quietly, I'm telling you this now, so there's no confusion later. I'm not doing any of this because some teacher threatened me. It's because yesterday, you genuinely looked pretty cool out there. From that day forward, Yang graduated without facing a single moment of harassment ever again, and Nak finally started focusing on his own future, staying completely out of fights from that point on. After graduation, the two went their separate ways, and 10 years later, by sheer coincidence, both of them ended up working at the exact same electric car company. We cut back to Baji, who asks, almost tiredly, "Do I seriously have to keep doing this job?" His father replies without missing a beat, "Is this punishment fair or not? If you keep slacking off like this, I'm gonna assume you're not taking your work seriously, so do your job properly. What school takes 2 or 3 whole weeks to fix? How are you wasting that much time on just one place?" Baji sighs. "Am I just some hired gangster who beats people up and expects everything to fix itself afterward? Students don't actually learn anything just from getting hit. We seriously need more people on this. How am I supposed to handle this entire job alone?" His father reassures him he's already in the process of hiring more wardens. Right then, Baji gets shown footage from a brand new school, and he's genuinely stunned. It's an all-girls school, and apparently every kind of misbehavior imaginable is happening there. He thinks it over carefully and says, "I can handle pretty much anything, but a girls' school? Yeah, that's just not happening. Not from me." His father just smirks. "I figured you'd get nervous about this one, so I already hired a female employee for it. Guess you're finally getting too old for this job." Right then, someone familiar walks through the door. It's the same woman we briefly saw earlier. She introduces herself properly, professional as ever. "My name is Lim." Baji, completely caught off guard, asks, "Wait, what are you doing here?" She smiles. "I actually came here to meet an old member of mine, someone who went missing from the army a while back. It's been way too long, Baji. How have you been?" We cut to the girls' school in question, where a group of girls are openly bullying a boy. One of them pulls out a pair of hair trimmers and teases, "Why are you so scared right now? Just look at your hair. It looks awful. Come here. I'll cut it nicely for you." Turns out this boy isn't even a student. He's actually their teacher. He grabs the girl's wrist, saying, "Yeri, enough with this drama already. Does it feel good harassing your own teacher like this?" Yeri gasps dramatically. "Wait, did you seriously just touch my hand right now?" The teacher panics instantly, yanking his hand away as fast as he can. Yeri smirks. "Doing something that careless right in front of a camera, too. You know exactly what's about to happen, right?" Cut to the teacher's office, where the same man walks in, hair visibly butchered, thanks to the girls. The other teachers immediately ask what happened to him, wondering aloud if this is the second-year girls again. "I don't think this is just one isolated incident anymore," someone says. "It just keeps getting worse and worse. Remember that other thing that happened? Feels like their next target is going to be Mrs. Nam, the science teacher. They've already made her life completely miserable, pulling some new prank on her literally every single day." We then see Mrs. Nam standing in front of her class, where every single girl is busy chatting away, completely ignoring her. She tells them again and again to open their books, but they treat her like she's invisible, like a ghost nobody can even see. Meanwhile, Baji and Lim are catching up. "How could you possibly not recognize me?" Lim asks, almost offended. "We used to be like family back when we served together." Baji shrugs. "Not my fault. You genuinely look like a completely different person now." Lim huffs. "Is this some kind of joke? Because if it is, it's really not funny. You hadn't seen me in just 2 years and you still couldn't recognize me?" Baji reminds her she looked completely different 2 years ago. "Sure, your hair's down now, but seriously, why'd you dye it that rust color?" Lim rolls her eyes. "You haven't changed one bit. And by the way, this isn't even rust colored. My hair was exactly this shade back in high school. Since I'm about to spend my days with high schoolers again, I figured I'd look the part so I could connect with them a little easier." Baji teases, "So you're telling me you used to party like this back in high school?" Lim fires right back. "Is that supposed to be a joke too? You're really not in any position to talk. Your own hair looks like a mop. And it absolutely does not suit your face. At the very least, run a comb through it sometime." Baji's tone shifts, suddenly more serious. He explains they're currently mourning someone's death, and Lim quietly falls silent. He adds, "We've arrived. I'm going to go talk to them and settle everything properly. You're the new teacher here, so just wait for me right here." With that, he heads off toward the police station. In the next scene, Lim is shown at the school, where the principal formally introduces her to the rest of the staff. "This is our brand new teacher. Please make her feel welcome and help guide her along." Lim introduces herself warmly to everyone, then turns specifically to Mrs. Jung, saying, "I really hope to learn a lot from you going forward." Jung leads her toward the classroom, and along the way, Lim says, almost nostalgically, "It's been so long since I've walked through halls like these. It genuinely feels like the old days again. I wonder what students are even like nowadays. We used to prank our own teachers constantly back when I was in school." Right before stepping inside, Mrs. Jung pauses and offers her one piece of advice. "Miss Lim, keep your head down, and please, try not to stress too much. With that, they both walk into the classroom, where Lim finds every single girl completely absorbed in their own little world, not caring one bit about who's walking in or out. And that's exactly where this episode leaves us, brothers and sisters. So if part 1 won you over, go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe while you're at it, and the moment this video hits 50 likes, part 2 is dropping right away. Until then, see you next time, and don't forget to share this video with someone who needs it.